Thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen, for your patience. At the outset, I would like to invite our three main judges to come up on stage for comments. General comments will do. Let me invite three of you to come up on stage to commence the awards ceremony.
Let the lady do the talking. That's nice.
Right, good evening.
Good evening.
Good. Right. Listen, before I begin, just on behalf of the judges on stage with me and everyone, all the judges who are sitting here and who have spent as much time as we did judging the performances, I just want to congratulate Call Theatre 7 for organizing a superb event. So well organized, so well run, and I think there are some competitions that could take notes from what happened here this evening. Congratulations, Call Theatre 7. And I know most judges say this at the start of comments, but we really did enjoy all the performances. And we congratulate all the casts, all the teachers, the directors, everyone. You can see that so much effort went into each production. So thank you very much, and I hope you all feel very proud of yourselves, because this was quite the achievement. So give yourself a hand. We will be available afterwards if you want to come and speak to us and any of the other judges here about, specifics. These are just general comments for you all as students of theatre, as students who are learning to have an appreciation for all the facets that go into making a show. And so I think we're all really glad that there are awards for all these things, because all of it should be recognized. So these are just general comments from us. And I'm going to start with acting, and actually most of it is going from us, is with regards to performance. So the first thing when you're an actor, and when you're preparing to direct a show, and when you're preparing to interpret a character, the first thing you have to remember is that you are there to tell a story. You are there to take an audience with you on a journey, to create a world here on stage, to believe in that world, and to project that belief to the people who are there to receive it. So telling the story is the most important thing. And when you're going too fast, or when you're not being clear with your words, that takes away from that idea of our main task is to tell this story. So again, to you as students, the first thing we want to say is speed. The speed at which you speak. It's important, especially when a play starts, and let's say an audience is perhaps not tuned into your speech rhythms. If you're going too fast, we won't understand you, right? Speed then affects clarity, how clear your words are, and projection, how you project your voice out so that you hit, the last row of the audience. Take that into account. Pace is very important. Another thing which affects clarity, the way you speak, is also Diction. Sometimes there might be wrong syllabic stresses, which again takes away from the meaning of a word. And sometimes, and I think we had it a fair bit this evening, when your voice is very high-pitched and you're speaking very fast, at a very high pitch, clarity is affected again. Clearness, be clear, right? Your main task is to be clear, to tell the audience this story. So those are the main things. Don't talk too fast. Be aware of your pitch. Be aware that when you're in an acoustic space like this, you should test it out first. I don't know if you had how much rehearsal time you had on this stage, but you should test out the acoustics. You should get someone in the audience to sit and listen. And if it's too high and too fast, you need to change that, right? The other thing is interaction. When you make a connection with someone and you're looking at them and they're looking at you and you're talking to each other and reacting to each other, right? The audience responds immediately. You're taking them on a journey, you're bringing them more deeply into your story, right? Rather than acting mostly out here and kind of, but all the acting is out here, right? When we say we are creating a world here, then that world is here. And don't worry about whether the audience can see you or not, they can. They're watching all the time. They are watching you all the time. So there is that interaction, a connection that develops when you're actually talking and responding to each other. So there's a kind of, that's one thing, and we did see a little bit of that. We feel that that's one area that people can work on. Being engaged with your scene partners. And when you're that engaged and that into it, the audience will get it. Don't worry, they will. So think about that. Think about also being a little bit more spontaneous. It's what we call being in the moment when you're on stage. Yes, there is a certain degree of rehearsal, and there is a certain degree of preparation, but for old hands, like us all three, you can tell when something has been rehearsed to death, and there is no spontaneity, there is no being alive in the moment. It's rehearsed and rehearsed and rehearsed. The inflections of the voice are in a certain pattern, it never changes. There are things like that also that lift a performance, guys. Makes it real. What we say about theatre is art imitating life. So the more natural you are in the way you speak and the way you interact with each other on stage, the better it is. Art imitating life. Right? So those are just some things we wanted to talk about. And the other thing is energy. Even if you are a spear carrier, and you're thinking, I'm just holding this spear, no one's looking at me. Oh yes, they are. Someone's always watching. So, energy in the body. Instead of walking like this, because I'm just in the background. Someone with someone sees that. And then for that someone, the magic breaks a little bit. And that's what teamwork, isn't it? Teamwork is, whether you're the spear carrier or the one with all the lines in the play, everyone gives the same energy and the same commitment. Yeah. So moving on to choice of play. We felt overall the choices were good. But the plays that worked better for us were the ones that didn't have so many blackouts. Blackouts tend to, and when you have a lot of blackouts, or a lot of very quick blackouts in succession, it kind of breaks the narrative flow a bit. And there's a lot of, especially when you have only 25 minutes, right? And there's a lot of scene changing and a lot of stuff going on, and then, you know, lights might not come on at the right time, or, you know, you're going into a spot that isn't there, you know, there's all those things to think about. So keep it simple. And keep your changes also, try and think of other ways to make a scene change. Be creative. Don't just go for blackout, 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 blackout. Because it makes the flow jerky. It chops it up. Anything else? Walking into the lights. That was a bit of a, yeah. So that's the thing, right? When you have a lot of changes and a lot of set pieces moving all around the place, then things like being in the correct spot and not quite making it, not knowing how to stand in a spotlight sometimes, you know, with your face, half your face is in the spot and half is not. Yeah.
Isn't that, I sound like a old uncle talking?
Any uncle.
Okay. There was Holsinger who used to do lights here, and he always says, "Ayo, Jerome Marque, Indu, one velava light ekak dakko takkala light ekak." So that's what you should do.
So the easiest way to know if you're in the light is if you can feel it on your eyelashes. If you're not feeling it on your eyelashes, you're not in the light. And once you feel it on your eyelashes, just take one little step forward and you are in the light. Right? The eyelash trick is, I think, something that we're all, well, I know we were kind of taught it when we first did our shows. It's a good way of just being able to gauge whether you're in the light or not. A few other things we want to talk about. We enjoyed the variety in the scripts. We enjoyed the fact that you really went out on a limb and wrote original plays, because, I mean, especially original plays in English, there's a dearth of it. I think, I don't know how many published plays there are in English in Sri Lanka by Sri Lankan playwrights, but it's not a lot. And so, yeah, I mean, Indu has over 50 plays and hasn't published even one. She has 65, he has 65 actually. So, there you go, whose fault is that? Right? No, that's what I mean. For our industry to grow, it's great that you're starting young, and I have to say we really appreciated the original scripts that were performed this evening. It's nice to have plays that talk about Sri Lanka, that talk about what we are going through, what we are experiencing, what young people are experiencing, the issues that they have with their parents or whatever. It's nice to see that stuff being set in Sri Lanka. I really applaud all the schools that did that. Ensemble work in general also we enjoyed. It's another way. Congratulations to all the directors and teachers in charge for making sure that your plays had a lot of children in them, students in them. I don't mean to say children. So that was also very encouraging. What else? That's it. Okay?
Thank you very much.